Hi everyone, how you doing? Good day so far. Tuesday, it's 2 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon, Mountain Standard Time. Bitcoin is rallying. Everybody's kind of pumped about this, but we've had our hopes dashed in the past, so nobody's getting too amped just yet. The price of Bitcoin right now is $23,350. The price of Ethereum was $1,561. And the price of my favorite microcap coin, Giddy, is down 10%. Oh, giddy. It's at 4.86 cents. So while the market is up, Bitcoin is up 9.3%. Ethereum is up 7.8%. Giddy is down 10.24%. Yikes. I might have to exit my position on Giddy. My stack, measured in dollars, it's up because the majority of my stack is in Bitcoin. But measured in Bitcoin, my stack is down because I still have a portion of my portfolio held in Giddy. So I'm gonna have to reconsider that position because I do not want to be losing sats. Even if the dollar amount goes low, I'm fine with that because my stack of sats, my value measured in Bitcoin, is higher. If that starts getting away from me, that's bad news. I can't sleep on that. And that's what's happened. Like in the past week, I've lost a substantial amount. My portfolio measured in Bitcoin has gone down substantially in Bitcoin. But let's just move on, shall we? We did this a little while ago where we opened up Crayon. This is the AI image creator, similar to DALL-E, but you don't need beta access. This is available to anybody. I asked if you had any prompts. One of you did. It was Bitcoin clock tower high above a utopian city. So that's the prompt we're going to run with today. Previously, we did Doctor Strange, Bitcoin hardliner, wizard, and this was the fun image we got out of that. I really like those. Let's see what Bitcoin clock tower high above a utopian city looks like. That'll take a couple minutes, so we will move on to other things in the meantime. From Rect Capital, who we've been citing recently because they talk a lot about price action, and everybody wants to talk about price action. For the first time in weeks, BTC is putting in a decent effort to try to reclaim the 200-week MA moving average as support. BTC, crypto, Bitcoin. There it is. We are right now above that 200-week moving average. The question is, can we stay above the 200-week moving average, right? The price, as I read this right now, it's $23,375. The moving average is just ever so slightly below that, but it's not a confirmed breakout yet, right? We have to end the week above this, then we've broken that line. And according to conventional technical analysis, that would mean that we're at the beginning of at least a minor sustained pump. We shall see. Bitcoin is up 21% in the last week. That is pretty substantial. Not a daily 24-hour chart, but up 21% in the last week. That's a meaningful move. Again, from Will. We keep talking about Will. I guess I need to learn more about this guy who recently changed his profile. He now has a CryptoPunk in there. He says, only a handful of times have longtime Bitcoin holders been under this amount of pressure, realizing losses as well as generally being underwater as a cohort. Each of these times has been highlighted below in green. So you'll notice a few things. One, these green stretches happen when we're at the bottom of the market. It usually rallies up. It did so in 2012, 2013. It did so in 2015, 2016, 2017. It did so after the 2019 lull into 2020 and 2021. And now we're in that green period again. You also might notice that these tend to get shorter, right? At least excluding the 2012 one. It was a pretty wide stretch in 2015 to 2016, narrower in 2019, and we've only seen a little bit in 2022. So you might read that. I'm not necessarily saying that I do, but I would entertain the theory that this means that those lulls are getting shorter in duration. We'll talk about duration in just a bit because Grayscale released a report. There are a few insights here from Bitcoin Magazine. Just in, Bitcoin network is on track to process $18 trillion in value this year, according to the Grayscale report. Also, the bear market could last for another 250 days based on past cycles, according to this Grayscale report. If you're not familiar with Grayscale, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and the Grayscale Company are offering exposure to Bitcoin to conventional institutional investors, right? They're giving people a way to get exposure to this asset class without just buying en masse. on something like Coinbase. We will also, as you might have guessed from the title and thumbnail, talk about Coinbase in a little bit. This is the report. It is not that long. It's not like a paragraph, but the title is Bear Markets in Perspective from Grayscale. It is 22 pages long, I believe, and they're not all full pages, right? We're going to zoom in on one insight here from the report right here. The table below shows the average price of Bitcoin during zones of realized price less than the Bitcoin market price. Just 21 days into this zone, we may see another 250 days of high value buying opportunities when compared to previous cycles. So we might be down below in this zone for a while, but we'll see, right? As we mentioned before, we're in kind of a breakout right now, but it's still unconfirmed. I still have not pulled the trigger on deploying my capital, though I got to be honest, I'm as emotional as anybody else. It is hard to see the price going up when I'm not positioned for it just yet. I'm still holding cash. I still have a position in another altcoin, Giddy. So part of me is very much hoping this is not actually a sustained breakout yet. I'm going to need to switch over soon to all Bitcoin all the time. From Watcher Guru, billionaire Mike Novogratz says Bitcoin can still reach 500,000 within the next 5 years. I totally agree with that. We could absolutely reach 500,000, but I don't know how credible Novogratz is at this point. Here he is with his Luna tattoo from January 4th, 2022. So the beginning of this year, the guy was as big a lunatic and supporter of that ecosystem as anybody could be, and he was very humbled when Luna lost all of its value. Maybe it still exists as a microcap, but I am not interested in something that's lost 99% of its value and doesn't have any feasible path to regain market capitalization. Or I'm not interested in something that was led by somebody who took it to that place, right? Like Do Kwon crashed that thing. He should have had a better grip on it. He caused a massive catastrophe in the broader market, a contagion, a domino effect that knocked down a whole bunch of other institutions. There were numerous bad players here. Do Kwon was a bad player. Celsius was irresponsible. Three Arrows Capital, fully fraudsters, right? We have this array of bad actors are now all getting washed out. The question is, how far does that contagion spread, and how bad an actor are others in the space, including Coinbase, hence the title and thumbnail. This is a headline from Forbes, and I have said before on this stream that Forbes is not really a news outlet per se, and I will show why in this article. Headline, Crisis on the Horizon, leak reveals major Coinbase red flag amid wild Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto price swings. All right, here's the article from Forbes. Forbes is just a place for people to shill PR. They're clickbait like so many others. If you know the right people, you can get something written at Forbes, or you can have a byline and write it yourself, which I should probably do. It would be good for my career. Here's a quote. Coinbase just shut down their entire affiliate program. Nate O'Brien, an investor with Roadrunner Ventures, posted on Twitter, "This is a major red flag. I fear that a liquidity crisis is on the horizon." Now, is this legitimate? Are they potentially facing a liquidity crisis? I don't know, and them shutting down the affiliate program is not a great indicator. It's not a positive indicator. There is no world where you can spin that and say, no, it's good that they shut down the affiliate program. It means these positive things about the market and about Coinbase in general. There's no way you can spin that story. But to say that it's a catastrophe, that it's a giant red flag, I think that's overblown. And I don't know much about Nate O'Brien. I run a personal finance YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers investing at Roadrunner VC. Doesn't look very old either. It looks like a young guy. So here I'm showing my ageist self again. He's a young guy who has a big YouTube channel. Bravo, kudos. I'm actually jealous. I wish I had 1 million subscribers. I do not. That said, I'm going to take this with some grains of salt because I don't think it tells the whole story. According to Coinbase themselves, they have 98 million verified users. Suppose that half of those are in the United States. That's roughly 50 million, 49 million. This is the United States population. It's about 230 million people. So they've got 50 million of 230 million. how many of these are children, right? Maybe they're just shutting down their affiliate program because the people who are going to sign up in the United States have basically already signed up. Maybe it just doesn't make sense logistically. Maybe it's already done its job and they can sunset that program because it doesn't make any difference to them, right? If something is there and it's costing you a little bit of money, but it's just totally unnecessary and not worth it anymore, you can shut that down. I don't necessarily see this as a giant red flag. However, it's not a good signal. There's no way that that's a good signal. And there are other things demonstrating themselves too. Uniswap and Coinbase now have nearly the same equal daily volumes, 27% in January to 49% today, right? Coinbase in the kind of light purple, Uniswap in the light orange color. They're about even at this point. Now, Brian Armstrong chimed in here. He said, it's great to see Uniswap growing, but you're comparing it to only Coinbase's centralized exchange here. Coinbase is also a wallet for lots of folks and routes trades to various places, our centralized exchange and DEXs. In other words, for the Uniswap portion of the graph, a bunch of those orders are coming through Coinbase. So the story is more complex. Granted, it is more complex. He's saying there's more information that would be involved here if it was really an apples-to-apples comparison. However, he doesn't provide those apples to compare. He could, right? He could flex and say, this is how big we really are, and the data doesn't show that in these other places. He fails to do that. He just says, it's more nuanced than what you're showing, right? He's trying to downplay it without giving us more information. He's saying there's more information without providing it. So that's not great either. He's not technically wrong. It is more nuanced, but he's not providing more nuance for us to look at. He's not providing the data for us to parse through. I'm not even entirely sure he would be legally allowed to do that. It's shocking how constrained a lot of these organizations are. I have lawyers in my family, and they have told me before that their hands are often tied, that they are the subject of accusations, and they are legally prohibited from lashing back or giving full context and full truth, right? They legally can't tell you what's actually going on, even though the headline says something that's demonstrably false. It happens. Again, bad signs for Coinbase. Coinbase cites technical issues for users, difficulty accessing funds. So some users were not able to access their money. Coinbase says it's a technical issue, we'll get it fixed. I believe they're telling the truth, but again, this is not good. It's also not new. Coinbase has been dealing with glitches and deciding which fires to prioritize and put out for a very long time, years long. Right? These organizations run in a way where they're growing very quickly. They're dealing with a lot of evolution, hiring people, firing people. Just running the business is such that customer service is not the number one priority for these places. It can't be. They have not figured out a way to run the organization where customer service is the number one thing we're going to pay attention to. That's a rare company. They have to choose which fires they're going to put out. They can't put them all out. So technical issues, yeah, probably real. This person, Mr. Goat Level at Leandro Danny on Twitter, and this is, nobody of any report. He's got 1,000 followers. He said, avoid Coinbase. They'll permit you to deposit without telling you that you can't withdraw, and this is the result. Money gone, and they don't give a damn F. Okay, so this is one person's anecdotal experience, but this is not uncommon. This totally happens and has happened for a long time. People lose their money on these exchanges because there are not mechanisms in place to prevent them from losing their money. If you're going to give people access to their funds and you're going to deal with a decentralized ledger that can't be undone, sorry, you cannot with a keystroke fix all of the problems. There are going to be problems. The only real solution here is self-custodial solutions, where people educate themselves, get to know how to use the decentralized open source personal tools rather than relying on third-party exchanges and lenders. Ultimately, the structural problem, the endemic problem within the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin space is the reliance on third parties. Sorry, that is the truth of it, and that might cost me future sponsorships. Maybe I'll have to unlist this video. I don't know. Struggles, you guys, struggles. Because I would like to be sponsored someday. It would be nice to make some money. From Bitcoin Archive, Samsung's new Bitcoin mining chip will be more powerful and energy efficient. Have you heard about this? Major chip manufacturers are making Bitcoin mining chips. And it's not just Samsung with their 3 nanometer process technology, which is a huge technological feat, right? A 3 nanometer chip. I don't know much about chip manufacturing, but I can tell you that 3 nanometer chips that's incredibly small. And that's getting to the technological limit of what can be done. Because at a certain size, if you make these transistors small enough, then electrons are just going to start jumping from one to another. You run into quantum limits of what's possible. And we're getting there. We're going to reach a point where these chips are so small and so fast and so efficient that you're either going to have to rely on some transformational leap in processing technology, i.e. quantum computers, or miners are going to have to rely on finding cheaper sources of electricity. Right? If we've reached the technological limit of what these chips can do, and at that small transistor size, you're reaching it, they're going to have to find untapped sources of energy. They're going to have to go to remote places, set up on-site Bitcoin miners and energy production facilities, wind, solar, hydro, and they're going to have to run Bitcoin miners on location to capture otherwise stranded or wasted energy. This is a good thing. It's a good thing for the energy grid. It's a good thing for Bitcoin. It's a good thing optically for the Bitcoin world. I'm very bullish on this. It's something that if I had more time and money, I'd be invested in myself. Maybe I should. Maybe I should be doing that. We will see. Samsung is not the only one developing chips in this space. Intel is also developing chips, and NVIDIA is developing chips. Chip processing time takes a long while. It's not something they get into casually. So the fact that all these major manufacturers of chips are all developing specialized application-specific integrated circuits for Bitcoin, that tells you something. That tells you this is not going away. It does make money. They do think it's worth it, even though NVIDIA has struggled. NVIDIA's crypto mining chip revenue now nominal following months of decline. If you're not following John Coogan on YouTube, John Coogan is a very interesting YouTuber. I really like his stuff. He just released a half-hour video on the founder of NVIDIA. This is a great video. I highly recommend it. It is 30 minutes, so set some time aside. Though I guess my live streams are like 45 minutes, so it's not that long. This is a great YouTuber. I really like John. If you're not already following him, I do recommend it. I follow him and pay close attention to his stuff. One of those few that I watch all of his videos. This from some rando on Twitter. This is basically an anon. He has the flags of Canada and Iran in his bio. Wow. Says uranium is his hobby. Anyway, this is just an interesting perspective. I think we're going to see a lot of this. We've seen a lot of this in the past couple months. I lost all of my money. I invested in some metaverse altcoin. My portfolio was 50% Bitcoin, so I survived. Now it's 100% Bitcoin. Lesson learned. So I've just been telling you that I've got a meaningful portion of my portfolio in a microcap coin, and right now it is disappointing me. Sorry to say. I'm going to have to go all in on Bitcoin sooner or later. That has always been the plan, but maybe I just need to bite the bullet, pull the trigger, do the thing now. I'm getting too greedy, you guys. I just want more BTC. I want the market to fluctuate such that my BTC portfolio is measured a little higher. I'll let you know when I do make that jump. Have you heard about the heat wave in the UK? Breaking records, they say, for the highest temperatures as Europe sizzles in this heat wave. Lots of stuff going around about this, but it's interesting to me because you look back a couple of years and you see similar record-breaking temperatures. So is it hotter than it was in 2019? This person from 2019, I feel bad for Europe and North America. Most places are designed to keep heat in. Most places don't even have air conditioners. There's no escaping the heat, but at least it's not humid. They talk about France, Vietnam, Germany, Belgium, Algeria, Iran, Oman, and they're just talking about how hot it is. But now we're talking again about how hot it is. This is an interesting headline. Europe to America, your love of air conditioning is stupid. This is from the Wall Street Journal in 2015. This did not age well. Sorry, guys. Breaking news, French banking giant BNP Paribas will offer Bitcoin and crypto custodian services. That's from Bitcoin Archive. The actual articles about this say that BNB Paribas has almost $13 trillion in assets under custody. So that is a meaningfully large financial institution. One thing that happens here is that you can write a headline that looks big, but you don't offer any scale, right? You have to, all of these things are relative to each other. How big a deal is it that BNB Paribas is offering this to customers? Well, how big is BNP Paribas? What portion of their customers are going to be interested? What portion of those customers' deposits are going to be involved? It actually could be very small. We don't know. The devil's in the details. And as somebody who's worked a large portion of my career in marketing, I can tell you that people take full advantage of this obscurity, right? It is fully in their best interest to play this up where it might not actually be that big a thing. It's not a bad thing. It's good that they're offering this to their customers, but its actual impact on the market could be negligible. I don't know. I'm going to go back to this start and see if it's... Oh, yeah, okay. That worked. I wasn't sure it was working. I just wanted to look at it really quickly. We'll come back to that at the end. From Watcher Guru, Ripple co-founder Jed McCaleb is estimated to have earned $3.09 billion and 708 Bitcoin from selling his XRP since 2014. Jed McCaleb just sold off the last of his XRP. This is the founder of Ripple, the founder of a few other things. I was not familiar with him, and actually, Marty Bent brought attention to this. He said, Mt. Gox, Ripple, Stellar, Jed McCaleb is the most successful scammer most of you have never heard of. And he's right. I'm not familiar with McCaleb prior to this. I never did get on Mt. Gox. I was around in the Bitcoin scene at the time, but the hurdles to get money on Mt. Gox was like absurd. It was like 2 weeks. You had to wire money from your bank to Japan, and I just never went through the trouble. Ripple, I've never owned Ripple. Stellar, I owned Stellar for like a minute when a friend told me I should. I bought it, and I sat on it for a minute. I sold it. I never became that interested. But McCaleb has been involved with all of these. And none of these have a great name at this point, at least not in my book. Certainly not Mt. Gox. That's notorious. Ripple, I wouldn't touch it. Stellar, not interested. According to Wikipedia, McCaleb is an American programmer, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He is a co-founder and CTO of Stellar. Prior to co-founding Stellar, McCaleb founded and served as a CTO of the company Ripple until 2013. This is where this all came from. He just sold his last XRP from the known wallet of his that had billions of dollars of XRP in it. McCaleb is also known for creating the Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange. So he created that. Yikes. Mt. Gox, which got hacked, which got stolen, which went down, which made a lot of people lose a lot of money, was one of the first and most notorious failures in the Bitcoin ecosystem. He made that. Congratulations, McCaleb. Hope you're enjoying your money, which he has a lot of. McCaleb is also known for creating the Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange and the peer-to-peer eDonkey and Overnet networks, as well as the eDonkey 2000 application. So these are pre-cryptocurrency peer-to-peer networks for file sharing. So the guy's clearly technically capable, but morally questionable, I would say. On January 18th, it was reported that McCaleb's Ripple token ownership was worth $20 billion, which would put him at 40th place on Forbes' list of world's richest people. So the guy's on the list of the 40 richest... Sorry, he's 40th on the Forbes list of richest people. And I have to sincerely ask, what value has he created? Mt. Gox was a nightmare. Ripple is not helping anybody. Has Stellar done any good? Doubt it. Peer-to-peer file sharing with eDonkey? I guess that was kind of cool for a minute. I think I'm going to have to go with Marty Bent on this one. Jed McCaleb is the most successful scammer most of you have never heard of, but now I know the name and I will avoid him. Speaking of scammers, we're learning more and more about people like 3AC and what they did with that money. Surprise, surprise, they spent it, and they were not spending it wisely. It was not an investment in growth assets. This from the Wolf of All Streets, Scott Melker. It's bad enough to lose access to my funds because of a loan to Three Arrows Capital. If you're not aware, Scott Melker did have money locked up in Vald. They were one of his sponsors, and he did say that he lost millions of dollars when that was all locked up. It's worse to find out that they were already insolvent and used the loan to buy effing yachts. Yikes. There was so much bad behavior in this space, guys. There's so many people trying to scam you. I am not trying to scam anybody. I don't want to scam anybody. I'm not a very good liar, and I won't ever do it. I might get things wrong. but it'll be an honest mistake. I can tell you that much. I feel like the number of people trying to scam me personally has gone up. I get so many unsolicited texts that are clearly trying to look like they are to a wrong number. They want me to respond. They're fishing for my response to confirm that that is my number and then to draw me into something. I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm sure the heck not going to respond to those. I delete them. I got an interesting one today. You want to see it? Pretty funny. My inbox is basically overrun with this stuff. I've gotten very bad at responding to texts because of this. I get so much text spam. Have you experienced this? There's another scam attempt that I recently experienced that I'll tell you about in just a moment. Look at this. Hot new spam text just dropped. Henry, please be human! Exclamation point. First you betrayed me, and then you stole the money. You blocked my number? Exclamation point. Question mark. Nobody named Henry was the supposed recipient of this. They weren't actually trying to reach anybody named Henry. I get stuff like this all the time where clearly they want me to think it's a wrong number and respond and say, hey, I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong number. They're confirming that there's an actual human being on the other end. I might be targeted, right? This might not just be for a human being. It might be for this human being, and they're trying to confirm my phone number. I delete those. I also got a thing in the physical mail from a law firm in another state with my name on the envelope, my name on the top of the legal document, multiple pages stapled together with official-looking legal letterhead saying that a business that I've never heard of and a proprietor that I've never heard of are owed money by me in the six-figure range. Sounds like a scam. I've literally never heard of these people at all. I will be putting it in front of my lawyer to confirm that this is a scam. I'm sure I don't owe them any money, but I also suspect that this is some kind of phishing ordeal, right? I'm getting it through snail mail. I'm getting it through text messages, certainly getting it in my inboxes on social media. It's everywhere. I kind of advise that you stay a little bit paranoid, my friends, just a healthy amount, because the reality is there are a lot of people out there that are trying to scam you. That is not imagined. People want to take your money, especially if you're in the cryptocurrency space, especially if you're in the Bitcoin space, because people are starting to realize subconsciously, if not explicitly, that Bitcoin's where it's at. That's the one that sticks around. That's the one that's actually worth money in a down market. Even though Bitcoin is down right now, down in the big picture, still up in the past week. Bitcoin is the one that people know that they can quick flip, make money on. They know they can hang on to it too. Like nobody's trying to scam you out of your mana tokens right now. Nobody's trying to take your Decentraland tokens right now. They are trying to take your Bitcoin. All right, friends. Who is it that said only the paranoid survive? That's a famous quote by, I think, one of the founders of IBM. Andrew Grove. Yep. It's the name of a book by Andy Grove. So Andy Grove was a co-founder, I believe, of Intel. There it is. Only the paranoid survive. So that's my advice to you today. Stay a little bit paranoid. It's only paranoia if you're wrong. And you're not if you suspect that people are trying to take your money. They are. All right, that's what I got, friends. Oh, let's go back to our fun tab. Bitcoin clock tower high above a utopian city. Is this the citadel that we hope to inhabit someday, friends? Which one's your favorite? Ooh, that one's cool. I like these. Crayon is one of my favorite kind of internet toys to play with these days. I am eager for the eventual Citadel idea to take root IRL. I think it absolutely will. I think Balaji Srinivasan's idea of a network state is the way forward for society generally, for the world, for anyone who wants a peaceful, prosperous future. And we might just have something like this that you see right here eventually someday if we build it. All right, I really am going to go. It's been fun. We'll talk again soon. Later, team.